This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Well, I forgot my newsletter again, but at least the newsletter is only in the truck and not at the Independence office. Ladies and gentlemen, American Jerry, we got all kinds of news to report to you. Some of the news, I just sounded like Tommy Lee Jones there, I think.
You did.
We got some news for you that you've known about, some you don't know about, but we'll bring it all to you in Radio Superbity. I got a lot to say today about guns. I've got a lot to say about our traffic reporters. I think we might have an upgrade today. We have not David Letterman's, we have Garrett Sablehouse's mother to do traffic. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning.
Now, when I came in here, I said, I guess Garrett will be on his best behavior, and he did his classic.
Isn't my mom hot?
Smoking hot. How quick can we get her poster on the wall?
Yeah. It's got a small fee, and when I say small fee, I mean large fee.
Did you see the bikini picture that all these traffic reporters are wanting us to put up on the wall?
That's true. Every traffic reporter, Mom, either
they want us to put up their bikini picture on the wall.
Either want full nude, or bikini. Yeah, you should see my mom's wedding picture. Gorgeous bride. You
know, I saw the main wedding picture of my mom and my dad when they got married. Gosh, my mom is so tiny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, wow.
Not that you're not tiny now, Mom. Tinier then.
Well done there. I got some pictures to share. You know, these are like the best of the pictures that we took in here.
Oh, it's that hillbilly photographer you got?
Yeah, that hillbilly photographer from Pendleton County. But what else are we going to cover? We're going to cover the Oxygen Channel pulling the plug on baby mamas. Thank goodness. I watched the Jefferson documentary last night. There was a wreck right in front of my law office yesterday. I took a deposition yesterday. It'll be fun. We'll cover Lance Armstrong. And you know what? We had 2 shootings yesterday in America. And we had a dismemberment. They're dismembering heroin dealers' bodies. Now, I got to ask you this question. If we know they're a heroin dealer, do you support or oppose the dismemberment of their bodies? If we know they're a heroin dealer, like, should there be a exception to heroin dealer dismemberment?
Absolutely not. Heroin dealers are good people. I've known a lot of them in my life. They don't deserve to be dismembered.
Right.
Murdered, fine.
You know what? That's true.
Disgraceful.
Murdering is one thing. Dismembered. My goodness, we had some posters come in, didn't
we? We did.
We have some posters come in. Now, I apologize. I'm going to call you Mrs. Sablehouse.
Bowie.
Oh,
Different
Mrs. Bowie.
Names.
I understand.
Broken home.
Right, broken.
You come from the same. Yeah.
I don't, but my wife did the same thing. So I get it. Mrs. Bowie. Is there anything going on in traffic in the first 15 minutes of our show?
Nothing.
You know how we're from Anderson? Rich, obviously.
I'm just saying. She did that.
Boeing.
Oh, that's right.
We own airplanes.
Oh, my goodness. So, when Prickle was bragging about the stock her family owns in Coke, you own big stock in Boeing.
That's right.
Wow. Man. Anderson, so I guess that's why you live in Anderson.
Yep. Huge house.
Did you get all my music requests?
We did. I'm looking up.
And by the way,
you got to just top to bottom. What are you going to go with first here?
By the way,
I got one.
Jim Verona says he's against the dismembering of his heroin dealer. Do you like gummies? I'll share my gummies with you all. You want gummies?
Yeah, I'll take.
I knew. Like you were gonna turn down a gummy.
Right.
Yesterday, your son ate 4 Snickers.
Coffee.
Of the 6 that I brought in. Now listen, to equal out that wall of posters over there, look, we have Jesus.
Oh, that's good.
And we got 2 of them. He's the only person that got 2 posters. Well, maybe Clint got 3, but I mean that was just because he's in a couple other posters, you know. So anyway, I'm just telling you. Jake, did you go out in my car already?
Yep.
Good.
How about my Bearcats last night? Both of the Cats teams had a pretty good win.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Cats.
You can't look at my orange shirt there.
It's an ugly tie. It's a horrible looking tie.
I slept during the entire UK game. By the way, when we come back too, I have to make sure that this trademark stuff, I have to say something on the radio. So this next segment, Jake, I need to get cut because I need to show the trademark lawyer that I've used these terms on the radio. So like I'm going to put jackwagon, radio superbity, bulldog, oracle status, American jury, bulldog mafia, and Judge Bulldog all in one sentence.
Wait, you got all those trademarked?
Uh-huh.
How much that set you back?
Hey, can you imagine the value of these things when the television... We're gonna be rich, Garrett!
God, I'm gonna live in some penthouse pad in NYC.
Hey, when Garrett and I are rich, we just want you to know, Mrs. Boeing, that we will invite you over to the parties.
Yeah, you can come, Mom.
Good, thanks.
Watch your kids.
We're gonna have a, you know, the biggest TV I saw at H.H. Craig was a 90-inch screen, and I have an 80-inch screen. We're gonna get a specially made 150-inch screen for the mansions that we're gonna live in.
All you got's an 80?
And you know what? That guy over there, Jake, he'll be able to afford his own zoo.
Jake,
an elephant.
Animal lover.
He usually
I have my
brings
own
his
elephant.
animals, but he hasn't for a while. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury, this is My Baby Loves Lovin' on ClassX Radio. We come back, we'll have more radio superbity. It's faxed upstairs. I love it. You were able to print that, Jake?
I was able to, but I'll go grab it.
Well, you can. I don't care where it comes from.
Well, it's going to take a long time here.
Well, then go get the old fax. Where they're in my coat pocket there, buddy.
Okay.
And if they're not in my coat pocket, they're out in the truck. Newsletter trauma. Is there anything going on in traffic there, Mrs. Boeing?
Nothing yet. Everything's quiet.
All right.
Terrific job, Mom.
These three jackwagons, Baumgardner, Harkness, and Allen, according to Shaban, the spokesperson for the Boone County Sheriff's Department, says that they dismembered them, so they would have a difficult time identifying the body. Well, guess what, you jackwagon? What good does it tell you that you don't? Jeez, Louise. Oh God. Well, you know what? People that do that kind of thing are generally the kind of people they're going to say what they shouldn't. You know, because they're stupid. Dismember. You know, that's the kind of thing that's only supposed to happen in soprano movies. And then, of course, there's a shooting down in Hazard, Kentucky, just like Dukes of Hazzard. In Hazard, Kentucky, there was a shooting. 2 people apparently went to the Hazard Community College down there and opened fire. They opened fire. 2 people, I think, were killed. I don't know if there's more wounded. But it all happened in Hazard. It ain't the same as Harlan, my hometown. Not all shootings happen in Harlan. Some of the shootings happen in Hazard. That's all we got on that right now.
These hillbillies are angry this year.
Darn right we are. They're trying to take our guns away.
Dismembering?
We're going to shoot people, but try to take our guns away. And ladies and gentlemen, we have no news of what the circumstances are around the Hazard shooting. Meanwhile, in St. Louis, Missouri, there was another shooting. I believe at a college. And but you know what's hilarious is the fact that these shootings happen, and it's like we have to take away people's guns. I mean, these shootings have absolutely nothing to do with taking away people's guns. And I got some of the best rant stuff that I could deliver, but I got to save it for the hottest hour. You know what the hottest hour is? Hottest hour, Miss Boeing, is 8 to 9.
8 to 9.
See, each hour, we got more listeners. We got more listeners between 7 and 8 than we do between 8 and 9. Like between 6 and 7, we got the fewest listeners. That's why we talk like this and do other stupid things, because nobody's listening to us anyway. But more people are listening to us than they are Jim Scott. He's that geriatric dude over at that other place, got a bigger tire than we do. Me and the boys are going to go there and take care of that pretty... Oh, I shouldn't have said that on the radio.
We should get up on that roof and tip over some of their satellite dishes.
That'd be funny. And videotape it and put it on YouTube.
Yeah. Right down in the FBI's front yard.
Of course, we'll wear masks and gloves so they can't get the fingerprints on it.
I can get in that building. I could dupe somebody there to let me in.
I think so. Well, remember we sent that stripper over to Willie. I told Chuck, and then I said, just ring the doorbell and say you're there to deliver something, Willie. They don't care. They don't care. It's really, really tough security system there. And then yesterday at the Chamber of Commerce, they had a discussion about the bridge, and it was we need a private partnership. Of course, nobody talks about who's going to own the private partnership. You know, you let old Garrett and I own the private partnership. We'll jump right in there and support this thing.
Yeah.
So you better be offering us some stock in the private partnership. You'll shut me up.
You let the Deters come
Until then, I'm gonna keep blabbering my mouth on this radio station. You know, we don't make as much money as the people in Ohio. Over in Kentucky, we can't afford the toll. You know, going across the bridge every day to and fro. We can't afford it like you Buckeyes can. You all make more money than we do. We can only own one pair of shoes. You guys got 3. Much less tow. You guys are gonna love my car wreck story. Today in history, in 1920, Prohibition took effect. How did you get through Prohibition, Miss Bowen? Oh wait, no. No, Miss Bowen, you're not that. I'm just teasing. Hello, Dolly opened in 1964. At the St. James Theater. I remember watching that as a kid. I do believe Hello Dolly was played by Barbra Streisand. Well, hello Dolly. I am not kidding you. I am not on drugs when I do it like this. I just want you to know, Miss Bowen, I'm not on drugs while I'm doing my show.
Hey, Mom's an avid listener.
We only do drugs after the show, and it's usually pure grade caffeine.
Pure grade.
Muammar Gaddafi became premier of Libya. Do you know what the difference between a president, a premier, a prime minister, and a czar is, Miss Bowen?
No, I don't.
Hell, I don't either. Roger Staubach was named Super Bowl VI MVP. Roger Dodger. What college did he go to, Miss Bowen?
I don't have a clue.
You know what? Your son at least takes a guess. Go ahead.
Notre Dame. Also went to Roger Bacon, didn't he?
No, he went to Roger Bacon. Navy.
Navy,
Navy. Notre Dame was close enough. NBC presents the 440th and final showing of Bonanza. And it was about freaking time they stopped running Bonanza.
Oh, this was a terrific show.
Was your Uncle Hoss in that? Was your Uncle Hoss? Did he play Hoss in that?
Yeah, he
your
did.
uncle?
He did.
What I thought.
Yeah,
My godfather's uncle was Little Joe.
That's how we became friendly.
In 1974, a guy by the name of Peter Benchley published a book that was called Jaws. He would later publish Chins, Necks, and Spines, but his first book was Jaws. In 1974, the New York Yankees, Mickey Mantle and Whitey Ford were elected to Hall of Fame. And you know why that was significant? Because they were drinking buddies. They were drinking buddies. 1976, Donnie and Marie musical variety show premiered on ABC. I could never stand them. And now this is huge news. 1985, they say Playboy announced the end of stapling centerfolds. I guess they had too many people complaining there would be staples, you know, messing up their centerfold, I guess. I don't know.
Stapling? What does that mean? Like how they put
you
it
had
together?
Yeah, you had to tear it out, I guess. I don't know. I didn't look at Playboy back in 1985. I looked at one once. I think it was 93. That's the only time I've seen it.
I had a subscription probably from 88, year I was born, to just canceled at the invention of the internet, about 96.
Joe Flacco had a birthday today, 28. He's tall. Jeez, I saw him in that locker room, like, gosh dang, he's tall.
Yeah, he's probably got the best arm in the NFL.
Kate Moss, 39. Roy Jones Jr., pound for pound, 44. Sage, 54. Dr. Laura Schlesinger, who irritates the hell out of me, is 66. And Ronnie Millsap, number 69. Name one Ronnie Millsap song.
Can't do it.
I like this song. Pure Love. Baby, it's pure love. Or Stranger in the Night. Stranger in my house. Stranger in your house? Get the guns! Get the guns! AJ Foyt is 78. Ethel Merman. I don't know what. She's somebody. You remember Ethel Merman, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
I have no idea. What did she do?
She was the swimmer.
Like she's a ballet swimmer, wasn't she?
Excuse me, Aaliyah?
Who's Aaliyah?
A rapper?
I didn't know that.
Famous.
John Cobble Breckinridge. He ran for president the same year Lincoln won. Did you know that?
No.
Yes, he did. And he was from Kentucky.
That's why I didn't know.
He was a long rifleman. He used to explore with Daniel Boone. Till he found a falling out. Daniel Boone went down to Tennessee, hung out David Crockett. By the way, we beat Tennessee butt last night. Nolan Knurls, baby.
Barely. Lucky Wilcher off the bench, Boston threes.
And because we need to cleanse your son's soul, we put a daily scripture in there. This is from Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 11. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. That's true, isn't it?
Is that working, Gary?
Hell
No, it is.
Today's partly cloudy, high 44. Thursday, partly cloudy, high 40. Friday, sunny, high 45. Now, Rich Apuso does the weather around here, but we don't like the way he does it, so we do it again. Anything happened yet in traffic? Any accident over there? Anything? You know, just something?
Nothing.
Can you give us something? Good golly, nothing. How long's that song there? Is that a 2 or a 4?
2.
So there was some fun in it. In 1923, German money was so worthless that it was used as wallpaper and insulation. That's where the dollar is headed. John F. Kennedy, as president, was very edgy about going to confession. You know why, don't you? He would pick some of his fellow Catholics among the Secret Service, select different Catholic churches at odd times of the day for saying a confession. Sneak in there. I can confess that I had sex with his girlfriend, and I'm just confesses. Hey, is this the president? No. Ancient Romans used to use urine as toothpaste, mouthwash, and laundry detergent.
Ugh.
It contains ammonia, which is a natural teeth whitener and can be used to prevent cavities. That's why people tune in our show. Everybody out there that's not gotten their car yet, they're going to gargle now with urine to have white teeth. This is sad. In 18th century London, a working mental hospital was used as a tourist attraction. Come on and check out all our loonies. That's terrible, isn't it? My gosh.
I'd go see it. Laugh at those morons.
Train wreck, right? The first country to abolish capital punishment was Austria in 1787. I tell you right now, Bulldog, Austria is a great country, and that proves it right there. Is that we decided to abolish capital punishment before everybody else. We also allowed you to take steroids before everybody else. That's why I decided to stay in Austria and pump myself up. While the Hiroshima atomic bomb was being prepared in New Mexico, applicants for menial jobs at the plant didn't get the job if they could read. This was because the U.S. authorities didn't want staff reading secret papers or discarded litter. Hey, we need some illiterates over here.
Mop our floors. Calling all idiots.
All right, here's the question of the day as we go into the song. Would you fight a guy to impress a girl, even if you were certain he'd injure you? Answer, hell no.
Yeah, not worth it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, enjoy the song. This is Love Grows by Edison Lighthouse. I love this song. TC introduced me to it on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Miss Boeing, Garrett's mom, is there anything else going on out there in traffic out there?
Absolutely nothing.
All right. We just have to live with that there's absolutely nothing going on. But you know what? That's okay. All right. Let's see what we have. We got a little bit of Shakespeare. Let's get right to pop culture. At the end of Monday night's game, broadcaster Musburger said, once again, your final score, Kansas 61, Baylor 44. Coming up next, Sports Center. For Fran Francella and Holly Rowe, who was really smoking tonight, I want to say so long from Lawrence.
God, the guy, I mean, look, what he did in the national championship game was stupid that they ever had to apologize. And that's it.
But I think it's funny. He poked fun of himself. I love that. You know what? Greg Musburger, you watch. He'll be doing Saturday Night Live now.
You think he was doing that on purpose?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Slip of the tongue.
No.
Well, good for him, then.
No, he's making fun. The 47-year-old actor Charlie Sheen is going to be a grandfather. His 28-year-old daughter Cassandra and her husband are expecting their first child. Charlie Sheen, next time you're in Cincinnati, you stop by here in the morning, if you get up that early, and we'll take care of you because we're putting up your poster. Now, these other radio stations have your poster up, Charlie, and that other place revoked your Oracle, your man card. I think so, anyway. We're going to talk about Lance Armstrong later. Stephen Colbert said, it is no coincidence most... Oh, my God, I can't read that. Oh, my God. Kourtney Kardashian said she wouldn't be opposed to letting Kim breastfeed her children because that's what they did back in the day. That's freaking messed up.
Well, we got to play the Stephen Colbert thing.
All right, you play it. I ain't going to say it.
Just say it.
My gun's black. That's right. Just think if they had guns, there wouldn't have been slavery. Darn right. We're doing a hell of a Stephen Colbert commercial, aren't we?
Yeah.
Do you have the Pat Robertson comment?
No.
All right.
I don't think so.
Well, listen to this. I'll read it. This is Pat Robertson said this. A woman came to a preacher that I know, and she was awful looking. I mean, her hair was all torn up, and she was overweight and looked terrible, clothes bad and everything, and she said, "Oh, Reverend, what can I do? My husband has started to drink." And the preacher looked at her and said, "Madam, if I was married to you, I'd start to drink too." Holy cow! Pat Robertson. He's always a treat, isn't he?
Jeez.
And that, good golly, what's wrong with people? Zucker, CNN president, told CNN staff in New York yesterday that he supports the decision by Piers Morgan to speak out in support of gun control. And again, I'll have more up there later. Lifetime, the network has canceled the series Drop Dead Diva. And you hear about this? Baby mamas. Apparently some dude has fathered 11 kids, 9 girls and 2 boys, of 11 different children. The Oxygen Channel has pulled it. Wow. You mean to tell me we're going to start making decisions relative with culture? I wouldn't think so. My gosh. You know? That's incredible. All right, what do we have in sports? Rodgers, as in Mr. Rogers from Green Bay, will miss the 2013 Pro Bowl due to injuries. You know why? He lost. He's like, man, I'm hurt. Denver Broncos offensive coordinator Mike McCoy has been hired as head coach of the San Diego Chargers. What do you think of that?
Denver's offensive coordinator. Yeah, I mean, again, Peyton Manning with Denver is that offensive coordinator. He is wherever he goes, but whatever, good for him, gets a job.
Yeah. And Cam Newton re-enrolled in Auburn to get his sociology degree. San Francisco plays Atlanta, of course, at 3 p.m. Baltimore plays at New England. Cyclones lost 3-1 to the Jackals. You expect, man, a name like the Jackals are going to be the Cyclones every day. Wisconsin, 64. Indiana, 59.
Yeah. Watched the end of that game last night. That was at Indiana, too. And where the hell did they play? Bloomington?
Who cares?
Got worked.
St. John, 67. I love Hoosiers. Notre Dame, 63.
Well, yeah, and of course, Notre Dame lays a freaking egg when they play St. John's and not UC. 1 of 9 from three-point range. They were 9 of 11 against UC.
And my Cats beat the Tennessee Hilltoppers. And then your Cats beat DePaul 75-70.
Yeah, and you're lucky that, like I said, Wiltshire came off the bench, scored 17 points.
Luck ain't got nothing to do with it.
But Noel is playing really well. He had
Luck ain't got nothing to do with it.
4 steals.
Oh, there is some. Luck ain't got nothing to do with it. Luck ain't got nothing to do with it.
Luck.
UK. The Wildcats are doing good. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, Whitworth made the Pro Bowl because somebody got hurt. That's worth reporting. In the Senior Bowl, the quarterback for Michigan, Denard Robinson's going to play wide receiver. Danica Patrick filed for divorce. And you soccer fans out there, your team's going to face Costa Rica in the World Cup qualifying. LeBron's on the verge of making 20,000 points. And in hockey, when's hockey going to start, John? When's it going to start?
Saturday.
Hockey starts on Saturday, so everybody get out their pucks. We're going to play some old-time hockey. Some old-time hockey. Anything happened in traffic yet?
Nothing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury, this is So Nice to Be With You by Gallery. One-hit wonder. Not the magazine. This is the song, the music group. What you got there going, Jay? Garrett? You got some, doing some finding there, some searching?
Some searching.
Some searching. Ladies and gentlemen, American Jury, we'll be back with some Radio Superbity on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Now, this is really important, Jake. This segment right here, I got to get to Chris Mackey for these trademark stuff, all right?
Let me zoom in. Get a nice tight
zoom
shot.
In, get a nice tight. Ladies and gentlemen of the American Jury, I do not want you to be jackwagons. Therefore, listen to Radio Superbity, because a little dose of superbity every day will get you Oracle status. And when they ask you where you heard that from, you just say, the Bulldog. And if you have a dispute about this, the Bulldog Mafia will bring you up on charges, and you'll face Judge Bulldog. That was done pretty good, didn't it?
It was.
Oh, and we particularly like Z-list celebrities.
American Jury.
I did that.
Oh, good.
Already.
Oh, man.
Just say that segment, that's all I need. Boy, we did that. Knocked that out really good, didn't we?
Done.
Dun, 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 dun.
Mom, did you have
traffic? Something going on in traffic?
Yes, I have something to say.
Oh, my goodness. Say it quick. Say it
Shoulder
slow.
is blocked on I-275 eastbound before US 27 Coleraine Avenue exit.
Here goes Coleraine again.
Perfect.
Coleraine.
These people don't drive very well at all, man.
Those people just wreck all the time, so I can point bumper cars.
All right, it's poster time. All right, to show Miss Bowen that we are cultured here as well. We take care of icons. First off, you know what? We have to put the Bard up because nobody has put words together since him back in the 1500s. Yes, that's William Shakespeare. How far that little candle throws its beams, so shines a good deed in a naughty world. He lived from 1564 to 1616.
He was a moron.
Oh, he was not.
Yeah, he was an idiot.
And then we have to have some music to go along with him. And you know, we're not Mozart kind of people, or Brahms, or Bach.
Or Tchaikovsky.
Or Tchaikovsky. No. We're Beethoven people, because he's crazy.
And he was deaf.
And he was deaf, but he was still good. And he liked the girls, and we just like Beethoven.
He looks like a party animal.
He looks mad. He's ready to party, ain't he? Good old Beethoven.
Could you imagine having to put that many clothes on in the morning?
No. Oh, to joy. And you know what? I was going to veto this as the power vested in me as one of the consoles, but I didn't. And I think I made the right choice because I think you guys picked out a good pitcher. Mila. What's her last name?
Mila Kunis.
Mila.
Is it Mila? You always say
Mila.
Yeah, it's Mila.
Mila Kunis.
Jake would know.
And she's going to hang on the right wall over there.
Okay, you know what I like about her? She's classy.
She is classy.
She's not a skank.
Yeah.
And here's another classy lady, one of the top 5 most beautiful women ever lived, Sophia Loren, goes up on the wall. And she's not very classy. But it's for the younger generation of Bulldog Nation members. What's her name again?
Look at that side.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. Megan Fox goes up. And we have we're getting the memorabilia. We got a Bengals 10 here. Bengals. They even got the old helmet. They even got the old helmet on there.
Why didn't I veto that? That's horrible looking.
Give me those pictures, please.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Miss Boeing. Miss Boeing makes a great assistant.
You should hire her.
Yeah, these are the pictures that we wanted to show. This is Bulldog Nation member official photographer Sabrina, who was kind enough to come here and take. By the way, I've got her very, very busy.
You want me to put them up against the thing after you're done showing them?
Yeah, you can if you want. And then we have right here the whole gang, and our sometimes Friday traffic reporter Sarah Jones with the gang. This is I'm laughing about something. I have no idea what. Some more laughter. And here is a solo shot. And you know what? If you girls out there are a fan of Tommy Boy, Garrett, we'll make a color copy of this. He'll autograph it and send it to you.
Yeah.
This is a solo shot.
I do naked shots too.
And this is another photograph of the whole gang. And yet another photograph of the whole gang. So there you have it. Those will go up on the. You know, we got to have more pictures of the wall like that.
It's me.
You're doing a great job doing that.
Let's see if we can. There we go.
The official Bulldog Mafia. Get in there! That's a great, you got the head shakedown even good. Oh my God. You know, I watched the Jefferson documentary that they put out last night on our Netflix, our new Netflix. And there's a portion in there where he had a Marie Cosway, who was a married woman from France, that Jefferson kind of hooked up with a little bit. And he wrote this famous dialogue between his head and the heart. And I was sitting there listening to it, and it was very poetic, and I thought to myself, I don't know why I thought this, but I thought about Garrett. And Garrett wouldn't write a dialogue between the head and the heart. He would write a dialogue between his stomach and his willy whacker. Willy whacker. Boy, she's awful hot looking over there. Yeah. Come on, man, let's go get something to eat. Hey, we can wait. I want to go.
Bigger than his brain.
I just had to.
That's what we need the Eddie clip from Christmas Vacation, where Clark says his heart is bigger than his brain. Or what
yeah. Well, all joking aside about the shooting thing, 2 were killed and 1 was injured in the Hazard Community Technical College in eastern Kentucky. The 2 people, including the shooter, being held by the police. Apparently the guy turned himself in. If you mentioned this, we mentioned this early, but Joseph Allen, 21 of Verona, Anthony Baumgartner, 23 of Florence, and Stephen Harkness, 22 of Verona, were arrested for the kidnapping, murdering, and dismembering of the body of a suspected heroin dealer. Some of the body parts were thrown in a dumpster at the Super 8 Motel in Florence. Kind of scary when you know there's people like that in your midst.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And then they said the authorities were searching the, did you just say that?
Yes. He said, Rumke. He said he wants, Governor Kasich said he wants a forthcoming education bill to include a provision that allows school districts to pay out bonuses to teachers who have high student performance rates. Why do you need a freaking bonus? Just do your job. Don't you agree? And how about this? Gas is cheaper in Ohio than Northern Kentucky. And they want us to pay tolls.
Yes.
Why are they so hard on us, man? So hard on us. O'Malley, the governor, Martin O'Malley of Maryland, said he will work to make Maryland the next state to abolish the death penalty. Well, I'm sorry, but that's going to be stupid. Some people deserve to die from their crimes. What's your opinion, Miss Boeing?
I agree.
There we go.
My mom is a staunch right-winger. Like
You know what? There's some crimes that, you know, they deserve a death penalty. Like shooting kids.
Absolutely. But not all murders, I don't think, deserve the death penalty.
That's true. She's suing, the Ohio teacher Maria Walter Willard is suing the Marymount School District, saying they intentionally positioned her to teach younger students after 35 years of teaching older students when she fought the decision to turn a French course on an online course. She says the district discriminated against her because they knew about her phobia of young children. That's plain freaking weird. I'm glad I do not have that case. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, this is the police. Do, da, da, da.
No. Do.
D, do, da, da.
D, do,
Da, da, do, da, da, da. Da, be, da, do, da. We come back, more superbity on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. The New York Police Department, they want retail pharmacies to begin using prescription drug bottles fitted with GPS tracking devices. I'm telling you, these people are just incredible. They just want everything to be controlled by the government. Ex-South Carolina Governor Mark Sanford is going to run for Congress. Now, it's going to be interesting about South Carolinians is they've got to decide, the guy that ran for governor one day decided he needed to go to Argentina to be with his soulmate. Might do that again. You know, he might be having an important vote in Washington and he'll say, I got to go to Argentina. I don't think he's got a snowball's chance in hell to win, but he's not living in South Carolina, so I don't really know what's going on. Wall Street Journal opinion today. If today the country had the same proportion of persons working, employed as it did in 2000, we'd have 14 million more people contributing to the economy. Is that amazing? 14 million more people. Walmart, they're doing a good thing. They say they're going to hire 100,000 veterans over the next 5 years. They're going to welcome them back and say, we're going to give you a job. That's pretty cool, isn't it, Garrett?
Yeah, it is.
You got to respect that.
We got Coke is pretty big on hiring veterans too.
Do they?
And Disney, I know.
Why are you
owns
working at
ESPN, right? I know. But you know, Disney owns ESPN. They're running those ads. Have you ever seen those that
Yes.
say hire veterans and all that? Which is good. I mean, why wouldn't you hire? I mean, the
figured to have some discipline.
Discipline, exactly.
They're used to getting up early in the morning.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury, you can listen to us every day, Monday through Friday on 88.9 and 89.1 FM. Also on ClassXradio.com. We have a live video, stream live cast. And guess what? We're the only show that does that. In addition, you can listen to us on a podcast. Also, ClassX Radio app. And also, live tune-in radio. And also, BulldogsNation.com. In addition to that, they have a Facebook page, ClassX does, and pick up at your Northern Kentucky Kroger's and CVS pharmacies the first inaugural edition with yours truly and Bill Spry on the cover of Northern Kentucky Live. And I got to write in my next column that's due January 21st. Also, I personally have a Facebook page, of course. And if you got an idea for the show, for me, or anything else, you can email me at eric@ericdeters.com or text me at 859-250-2527. Want to thank Window World for being a sponsor of the show. Want to thank True Ford in Brookville, Indiana for being a sponsor of the show.
True.
And I understand there's some high level, I mean like really high level negotiations with ESPN and Fox News to sponsor our show too. Because they're thinking about making us part of their, it's going to be the first ever where a radio show becomes part of both the sports national scene and the news national scene.
Yeah. And TMZ wants to get on board
with the pop culture part.
Right.
Even the History Channel is interested. Well, Traffic Lady disappeared for about 10 minutes, but she's back now.
She's got to learn when to take bathroom breaks.
Exactly. Do a little bit better on your planning there, ma'am. All right, Miss Boeing, what do we got?
Fire your ass.
You're gonna have to play a little bit longer song.
Do you know your son has got a quick trigger? I wonder what would happen. Would you be invited to Thanksgiving if you fired your mom?
Absolutely. I'd just show up.
You'd show up anyway, whether you're invited or not. What do we got there, Miss Boeing?
Well, still nothing.
What about that one? Did they clear the...
Okay, well, the shoulder's still blocked on 275
eastbound. Eastbound Colerain Ave, right?
Eastbound Colerain. Well, I'm going to report on an accident a little bit later about yesterday. I mean, here I am, a plaintiff's attorney, and there was a car accident, a rear-end car accident, right in front of our law office in the middle of the day.
Did you run out there and sign him up?
I'm going to tell you the story. I'm going to tell you the story of what happened later in the show. Is Kurtzman coming in here? The plastic surgeon guy?
I don't know, but
it is Wednesday.
Throwing a word about my back hair?
Your back?
My back hair.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, mine too. I want my back hair taken.
Let's do it.
You know, my wife cuts my back hair, and when she's mad at me, she won't do it. I mean, it took like 2 months for me to get my hair on my back cut the other day. God, I hate my back when it gets hairy.
I know. I don't mind it so much in the winter, but like in the summer, I'd be out there, my shirt
off. Really can mess up a good tan.
You know who bequeathed me my back hair?
Who?
You're looking at her.
Really? She's the hairy one in the family? Oh my God. Well, you are dark haired. Most people that are dark haired have more hair.
Really?
Dad doesn't have back hair.
Blonde haired people have less hair.
You don't have it, but it could have been your side of the family.
Oh.
There you go. Could have been their side of the family. It's a good.
That one. I'm gonna get yelled at that.
The side of the family. You know, this is so funny. Jim from Verona cracks me up. He says that he might know the truth. He says that they have a good idea why this dismemberment took place. Apparently, the guy that's dead apparently got arrested back in 2012 and squealed on these three guys.
So it's a little bit of revenge.
Revenge, baby.
Still, you gotta be a sick bastard to dismember somebody's body. I
Yes,
mean,
you do.
sick enough to kill someone.
Yes, you do.
And then, that's just...
Real bad.
Ugh.
Did you hear where Facebook is trying to have a little search thing to take on Google?
Yeah, read about it.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently you type in, like, I guess Zuckerberg was giving the demonstration yesterday, and you can type in, it's another, you know, example of how our generation is stuck up everybody else's ass. But you put in the search bar, which of my friends like football? And then a list of your friends come up that like, I don't know what the hell you would want to know that for.
Right.
But yeah, you can do, I don't think it's like a Google search bar. I don't think you can type in, you know, great ski resorts or something and a bunch of ski resorts pop up. I don't think it works like that. So I don't know that it's going to rival Google in that regard. But
Right.
I thought they owned each other anyway.
Nah, they're just buddies. They're just buddies. By the way, I crack up at all of these. I've been listening to the analysts about the Lance Armstrong.
Yeah.
You know, which is stupid. He shouldn't have done what he did there. All these lawsuits. I am shocked.
But who cares?
And who cares?
Right.
Here's the one thing that I can't believe none of the jackwagons analyzing this thing have said, which is this. Timing is everything, okay? Now, if you notice, Lance Armstrong has been denying. Now, I don't know where his state of residency is, okay?
Texas, I believe.
Yeah, that's right, it's Texas. I will bet you everything I got, which is $3.46, that Lance Armstrong has all of his assets and all of his money in protected trusts and other accounts, and that he has made himself judgment-proof. Because what he's doing is opening himself up to the government suing, you know, the one guy did a whistleblower case, Floyd Landis, and all these other people can just sue him and sue him and sue him.
Newspaper.
I will bet you money. It's just open. Now, not one person said, well, you know what, he might have everything protected. You realize that this is why we call it superbity. These other jackwagons just don't get it.
That's a good point. I mean, he does not seem dumb with his money. That is one thing. Lance Armstrong.
No.
So
you wouldn't go out there and do that if that was it. You know what I'm saying?
Good for him. Yeah, I mean, and that's the way to do it. You're exactly right. When you have that much money, there's a way to keep some of it. He'll lose a lot, and I really wonder what he got from Oprah to do that interview, because you could think that he could wait a year and then write like a tell-all book and make money off that. So I'm wondering if Oprah even gave him more money than that would be worth.
Coming up on the show, we got guns. We're going to discuss the wreck that happened outside my office. And remember I told you about those super lawyers? So I created super duper lawyers, and I'm the only super duper lawyer in the country. Well, yesterday I had a deposition of a doctor, and a super lawyer was on the other side. And after he got finished with the questions, I looked at my nurse, Kim Moore, and I said, now watch the super duper lawyer in action. And I'm going to tell you what happened, and you're going to roll on the ground laughing. There's only one super duper lawyer in the country, Miss Boeing, the Bulldog. There's some super lawyers, there's some lousy lawyers, there's some good lawyers, but only one super duper lawyer. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, this is Ride, Captain Ride by Blue Image on ClassX Radio.
An album rock.
This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. You know, last night we had a fire in the fireplace, and I went out to get some work out of my truck, and it was icy, sheet of ice, and I'm glad Cameron and Parker got home safe. But this morning, out there in Southern Kent County, it was like 33 degrees, and there was no ice. What about you guys north of us? What, ice this morning?
I'm just north. I'm in Dayton, Kentucky,
That's
so
right.
it's like it was snow on my car. Nothing on the ground was a little wet.
Oh, okay.
I came from the east side and it was just a dusting.
Thank goodness, because that means we haven't had as much traffic. Got anything going on out there, Miss Boeing,
Oh.
Garrett's mom?
Only one thing to add, the ramp on I-75 at Mitchell Avenue exit. There's an accident.
That's just down the street from us.
North or south?
Northbound.
Correct. You didn't have fun correcting your mom like that. There's a flasher that was reported in Oakley at 7 a.m. this morning.
I apologize.
Why do people feel compelled to flash themselves?
I just thought I
don't get it.
Looking for something to do.
I just don't get it. Flashing themselves. Jeez, oh Pete. What's going to happen with Xavier's basketball team this year? Going to win the NIT?
Potential NIT. Oh, man.
I love you, Xavier, but come on, man.
They didn't lose again last night. They didn't play last night.
Yeah, but they're just doing terrible.
They're playing bad, yeah.
They're playing really bad.
They've got about one guy that, last year the thing that started the brawl is somebody asked somebody from UC if anybody from Xavier could start on their team, and the guy said no, and that's why they
throwing down.
This year it might be true. Samaj Christian maybe from Xavier could start for UC.
Anybody else? You think anybody else could do it?
That's it. And if Samaj could.
Samaj.
We had a huge scare last night, by the way.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, please. 15 minutes left in the game. Our best player right now, Kashmir Wright, who's had 3 knee surgeries in the past, real bad knees his whole career, freaking went to, didn't get hit at all, but went to pivot and just blew out his knee, went straight. Well, apparently didn't blow it out. I need to still look at what exactly happened. He came back on the bench, but it looked bad. He was on the floor in agony and was helped off the court, went to the locker room. It just looked horrible. Everybody was just relieved when he came back to the bench, so thank God. Looks like he'll be all right. Hopefully just maybe like a knee sprain or something. It looked bad.
How about the Chicago Bears? They have chosen CFL's Tressman as a head coach. Why would you do a Canadian Football League head coach and you're the Bears? That's like something Jerry Jones would do.
Yeah, you know what? What the hell was wrong with Lovie Smith? You go 10-6 and barely missed the playoffs.
I like Lovie Smith as a coach. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah.
But you know what it is? People are just looking for the short-term exhilaration and pleasure and satisfaction instead of long-term. I'm glad I never do that. I'm always looking for long-term satisfaction, not short-term pleasure. Long-term satisfaction. What about you, Gary?
Short.
I
just want to be happy right now, and then I'm good.
Oh, my God. Jeez. Oh, we got the breakfast.
Food's here. Jake's a great food runner.
I know. He does everything so well for us. I fired him. How many times have we fired Jake?
6 or 7 times.
6 or 7? You saved him last time.
And brought back.
You saved him last time. You saved him last time. I was ready to fire Jake.
I had to make the executive. See, Mom, we're consuls. So in Roman culture, or whatever the hell.
See, back in the Roman, after the Roman Republic, or during the Roman Republic, there was 2 consuls that ran Rome. You had to work it out. You had to work it out, hug it out, if there was an issue, see. So we decided to run our show like 2 Roman consuls, and that's what we do.
Neither of us can make executive decisions.
And if somebody leaves the city in Rome, that consul can make a decision. So, like, if I were to walk out of the studio, he could do whatever. He could fire me. But if I come back in the studio, I got my rights back.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a touch. Sometimes we're like who's going to leave the studio first?
Yeah. Isn't that cool, Mom? A Z-list celebrity gives me equal power, too.
Yeah, it sure is.
That's right.
You're an A-lister in my book.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And by 2013 or 14, we're hoping to get up to Y. Maybe 10 years we'll be up to B. I don't know. Maybe skip a couple letters.
I don't know. Once we get to New York,
that's
where it's going to jump.
It's going to be over. All right. Let me see. What do I want to talk about now? I tell you what I'd like to share with you. I'm going to start the gun issue.
Wreck. With the wreck.
I'm going to do the wreck next. Here's what I'm going to talk about some gun things, kind of what's going on in the news, and I'm going to give you my opinion. A gun that's misfired. Wall Street Journal opinion by Jeffrey Scott Shapiro is a former prosecutor in Washington, D.C., who enforced firearms and ammunition cases while a severe local gun ban was still in effect. I am skeptical of the benefits that many imagine will result from additional gun control efforts. I dislike guns, but I believe that a nationwide firearms crackdown would place an undue burden on law enforcement and endanger civil liberties while potentially increasing crime. I mean, let's face it, if you gotta have the cop there, that's a problem. The Washington Post, the NRA released their new video online yesterday. It points out the fact that Obama is unsure about placing armed guards at American schools while his daughters are protected at school by an armed brigade of Secret Service members. And that's a little part of my rant coming up.
I agree with that too, because you're basically saying, and look, I get it's the president's kid.
Doesn't matter.
But they're children, one way or the other.
Right.
You can't say that one child is worth more than another child.
I did that bit last week. You think of your child or your grandchild. I'm sorry, folks. Little Riley and little Reagan is just as precious as the president's two little girls.
Yes.
And you know what? There's so much stuff going on. My daughter wants my wife, and she wants to homeschool them. She's like, the hell with this world.
I'm sure a lot of people are saying that to themselves.
You know, my wife pointed out something though, and this is cool because it's true. She says, you know what? I want to homeschool the girls because all that happens from middle school on to girls in today's society is objectification. It's all about looks and pretty. You got peer pressure from the girls, you got peer pressure from the guys, and it's all about that. And she goes, it just makes me sick. And when you think about it, that's true. You know, that's what it's all about.
Girls definitely have it worse than guys. They're bitches toward each other.
Right. And then the same thing with guys. I mean, it's a tough row to hoe, so to speak, as we used to say on the farm.
Yeah.
And Obama is going to have a gun control package today at 11:45 a.m. He's going to announce it. And he's going to be flanked by Joe Biden and children who wrote to him after the Sandy Hook tragedy will present his gun control package, which includes assault weapons ban, high-capacity magazine ban, and a closure of the loopholes on background checks. Let me tell you something. I watched some morning show Saturday, and they were interviewing teenagers about gun. We're going to let school children make the decisions about what's best for them, because let's face it, they pound in their heads, guns are bad, this is bad. Right, Mom?
Yeah, exactly.
We come back, I'm going to continue this rant. I'm letting it rip, baby, on gun control. I got room for one more. How about this? Rand Paul. Not wanting to have a king is what we fought the American Revolution over. Unlike kings, presidents cannot simply bypass the Constitution and Congress. I will fight tooth and nail against any attempt to ignore the Second Amendment or any other part of our Constitution, said Rand Paul. God bless him. And by the way, all the best to Rand Paul family. You know, he had a son that died in an incident. You know, people were going to pick on him and pick on everybody else. If you got a teenager, like I was too, you're going to have some incidents. You know what I mean? I feel sorry for families when they go through hell. I don't want to jump on good, his kid did something bad. See what happens to Tea Party kids? This is, speaking of guns, this is Citizen Soldier by 3 Doors, selected by me on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Before I get rolling, I got to ask the mother of Garrett Sablehouse to give us an update on the traffic report.
We just still have the same accident on the ramp, I-75 north at the Mitchell Avenue exit, and the shoulder blocked on 275 eastbound before Coleraine.
All right.
It is pretty light.
It is light. With the weather, I thought it'd be bad.
Yeah.
I want to thank Angie Prickle for doing a good job yesterday. She had a great voice. Also, she didn't speak unless she was supposed to. I also want to thank on Monday, Ladybug. All the cars were probably a little too much.
She was a freaking whack job.
But anyway, tomorrow we have Patty Waddell. And then I think Friday will be Sarah's last appearance. And then Monday, we have our first dude.
Yeah.
Tim Jones's friend from work wants to do it. Does he realize what he's walking into, being the first dude doing traffic? Well, ladies and gentlemen.
I thought Sarah's dad was doing it.
No. I'm going to go on a little morning voice rant. Many, many years ago, someone, Chinese, invented gunpowder. And gunpowder changed, it changed warfare forever. And then along came the gun. Once again, changing warfare. Then you had all of these developments in America, like, for example, Samuel Colt's creation of the revolver. You had the Gatling gun, which was invented in the Civil War, that gave a strategic advantage to the Union. But do you know what? Do you know what they called the Colt pistol? They called it the equalizer. The equalizer. Why? Because some big dude couldn't come up to you and club you to death because you had a gun and you could defend yourself. But before the West, which was really wild and crazy in the late 1800s, we had a Revolutionary War. And I stood on the spot when that war started because, you see, the British heard that the Americans had gunpowder and arms stored out at old Lexington and Concord, and they also heard the rebel rouser Sam Adams and financier John Hancock were hanging out, and they were. So they went out there to get it. And right there on the grassy plains of Lexington, the first shots were fired. And of course, there were more shots fired on the Concord Bridge. And then the British, they didn't find anything, had to get all the way back to Boston. And all the way back to Boston, they were being shot by Minutemen, militia, average citizens with a musket, behind every rock, tree, everywhere. And you know what? During the Revolutionary War, Washington didn't have enough regulars, so he relied upon the average citizen with the gun to defend the country. Does it shock you that in that environment we passed the Second Amendment? Does it shock you? Heck no. And in fact, you look at the writings, folks. You go look at everything that was written about the Second Amendment. Jefferson, who I watched the biography of last night, Jefferson said it was important for the citizenry to have the gun to protect them from the government. Everybody gets all freaked out about this. Look, oh, we got you. Duh! That was the whole purpose of it. And now you got the government wanting to take our guns away. And then we have Cuomo in New York giving a speech. Oh, let's end this. Do you realize it? In New York, you could have 7 bullets. It's like a bunch of Barney Fife up there. If you got 8 bullets, you just committed a crime. Hey, Andy, can you give me my 7 bullets? All right, but make sure you don't sneak a bullet, because if you get 8 bullets, you're going to jail. It's the stupidest damn thing in the world. It's like, did they do some kind of scientific test to say, in most shootings, when somebody burglarizes your house, you only need 7 bullets. You don't need 8 bullets, you only need 7 bullets. Meanwhile, guess what in Chicago? Chicago, where you can't have a gun. More people have died in Chicago from shootings than in Afghanistan this year. I mean, come on. Chicago's a freaking war zone, and they don't have guns. Duh. Duh. You know what it is? Law-abiding citizens, if you have gun control, are affected. Bad guys? What bad guys follow the rules? They don't follow the rules, that's why they're bad guys. They rob banks. Well, it's against the law to rob a bank. Well, they rob them anyway. Well, it's against the law to have a gun and do an armed robbery. Well, they do it anyway. And what's against the law to burglarize somebody? But they do it anyway. Well, what's against the law to carry a gun if you're a felon? Well, they do it anyway. So let's say the law-abiding citizens, let's take those guns away. And you look at the concealed carry laws across this country, everywhere you look, guess what? Crime is down. And then I did that old, Matthew McConaughey Time to Kill when I asked you to close your eyes last week and think about that little girl and that little boy in grade school that you love, your child, your grandchild, your friend's child, and how much you love them. But you know what? These jackwagons in Washington like Barack Obama and the rest of them and the governors of the country and the mayors. Mayor Mallory's got a bodyguard. All these freaking people, they're more important than your little kid. I wish I could say the whole word BS, but I won't. It's against an FCC violation. See, I follow the law, for the most part. Anyway, bottom line is doesn't that make you mad that my little granddaughter, Riley and Reagan, can't be protected by somebody with a gun? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Okay, President Obama, your 2 little girls, and you don't get to have your Secret Service agents carry guns. And then he said this at his press conference 2 days ago. He goes, well, they demonize me, so then they don't want to socialize with me. Well, really? You have demonstrated how you treated John Boehner, how your socializing works. You can't be trusted. And then he used the metaphor. Oh, I'm not going to let them put a gun at the head of the American people. Really? You better watch those gun metaphors, Mr. President. And they're not going to hold us hostage. Oh, really? What are you doing? It's not holding hostage and putting a gun to our head when you say you're not going to give in, but when they give in. I'll never forget the story, and I've told you this before. When I saw my older sister Amy come in the bedroom one day and slap my brother Thad, and brother Thad slapped her back. And Sister Amy goes, "You can't slap me." And my brother Thad says, "Well, you slap me." It's like Obama is like, it's holding him hostage if the Republicans dig in, but when he digs in, it's their fault. It's a bunch of crock. Total crock. And it fires me up that he thinks his kids and himself is more important than me and my kids and my grandkids, so forth and so on. It is so stupid that we don't have... And you know what? Common sense sometimes does prevail because teachers are going out there and they're getting armed. I heard on the radio this morning on Fox News, Cameron, I forget what state it was, they were doing exactly what I was advocating. I said it first. They were having retired police officers in their schools, and they were all excited that it looked like it was working really good. Duh. No, we're going to wait till somebody comes in here and shoots all of our kids. And while they're being shot at, we got a phone over there, and we trained Johnny really fast. He's trained to run really quick to that phone. Pick that phone up and dial 911. Police will get here about 10 minutes. By then, there'll be 36 kids dead. But then we'll have somebody come in with the gun and kill them. But we don't want somebody with a gun in the school that can blow the SOB away before he kills anybody else. Hey, I gotta say this. Do you really think there's going to be a bunch of gun accidents if we have teachers and armed retired officers in schools with guns? Give me a break. There, I've had my say. Oh, we got a good song. What's our song? Adele? We're setting fire to the reins, what I'm doing right now. I'm setting fire to the airwaves. Do you feel a fire coming through your ears? That's the way the Bulldog does it on ClassX Radio. This is listed in the top left-hand corner of the Drudge Report at the moment. I want to read you these headlines. Vegas, 60,000 expected to attend gun show. Idaho, people can hardly walk, they've got so much stuff. South Dakota, unprecedented demand. Kentucky, store shelves bare. You got our promo going in. Virginia, line stretched for hundreds of yards. Citizens file articles of impeachment against Obama. You know, he's apparently got 19 executive orders that he's going to sign. Guess what, folks? There are going to be some lawsuits. NRA ad, president is an elitist hypocrite. Yes, he is. Rand Paul and others are calling him a king. Now, I'm going to demonstrate for you. I've got this jackwagon programmed in as black racist. And I usually ignore his racist text to me. Now this is what black racist has just sent to me as a text. You blame Obama for his metaphor, but you used to call for an armed march on Washington. You and other right-wing racists better hope like hell nothing happens to the Obama girls. Let me tell you something, you jackwagon black racist. Obama and you better hope nothing ever happens to Riley and Reagan. Because guess what? Riley and Reagan's little precious lives are just as important as the Obama girls' lives. Can I have an amen?
Amen.
Amen.
Amen, sister.
Dr. Kurtzman joins us. How are you, Dr. Kurtzman?
I am great. Good morning.
You know, I like a guy who we knows the Jewish faith, and we can talk candid about it and be freaking weird about it. You know why I love the Israeli people? They understand the importance of having guns and being able to prepare themselves and defend themselves. Am I right, Dr. Kurtzman?
They do know how to defend themselves. They are a model for the world. What they do.
We got to get you the right microphone there. Start from scratch there. Oh, look, we're having all kinds of microphone trauma here.
Crisscross.
But am I right, Dr. Kurtzman?
You are absolutely right. The Israelis they know what's going on. The Secret Service, the Armed Forces.
They're not naive, are they?
They're not naive. Why do you think there haven't been any airplanes hijacked from El Al?
That's a good point.
They're probably one of the biggest targets in the world.
That's right. They are the biggest target in the world.
But you walk through Israel, there's armed forces all through Israel with their machine guns. and you feel safe.
This never works. We're going to lay down our arms, and will you not shoot us or imprison us? Oh, friggin' unbelievable! Right. And we're going to sing Kumbaya, and everybody's going to be happy too.
Well, it would be great if it did work, but unfortunately in this world with so many crazy people out there, it just doesn't work.
And he's going to have his little press conference with the children all around him. It's almost like using them as human shields in a different kind of way. Now, how about this? You hear about this $50 billion? It was $9 billion for Hurricane Sandy. It's up to $50 billion. You know what they're doing? They're putting things in there for all kinds of non-hurricane aid. And we're supposed to accept that. I'm not. People wonder why I called for an armed march on Washington. These jackwagon senators, congressmen, the administration never get it. They never stop sticking it up our heinies.
Yeah, it is true. All the pork that gets added on there, it's very frustrating. Everybody, the new people run and say, oh, we're going to change Washington, we're going to do this, do that. It never happens.
Never.
You really got to cut
Never.
the pork. I mean, it's such a big part of our budget deficit. It's so much of our expenses. We have to cut that out. But nobody wants to make the tough decisions. Everybody wants to take care of their constituents. Everybody wants the little, the little extra money for this, a little extra money for that. And it just doesn't work anymore. I mean, we're going over a fiscal cliff, and it's just going to get worse. He wants to up the debt ceiling, and doing that is just going to make things worse. You're just compounding the problem. You're never confronting the problem.
I crack up how the president never is forced to answer a question by a reporter. I mean, I would love to have him. You talk about making steam come out of his ears. Mr. President, you said it was unpatriotic to increase the debt ceiling on China's credit card when it was only $5 trillion. How can you have that position now? Mr. President, why do you think your little girl's lives are more important than Riley and Reagan's lives? I mean, it boggles my mind. And the common sense of Mr. President, at Sandy Hook, a bunch of kids were killed. They called a police officer to bring a gun to shoot the guy. Are you saying that you prefer that than just having somebody already there with the gun to shoot the guy? Is that what you're saying? I mean, it's just so stupid. By the way, are you available next Tuesday, Wednesday to Thursday to be here at 8?
I will have to check. I can see if
Will
we
you
can
check?
arrange that.
I have a trial against dirty.com. I have a trial Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and if you could do 8 to 9, I would be grateful. Especially Tuesday because Jake's going to be gone. I mean, Garrett's going to be gone. And if Garrett and I are both not here, the show is going to just suck.
Not if I'm here.
No, that's what I'm saying. If you're here, it wouldn't.
Why is Garrett going to be on trial?
If it's just Jake, Jake's too quiet. He just won't talk enough to carry the show by himself. Yeah. He'll be in here talking about zoo animals.
There's only so much you can say about animals.
Oh, by the way, he works at the zoo now volunteering, and he has signed a written agreement that if a lion takes off his arm, I get the case.
Well, I had a case 20 years ago.
Jake, I love you, buddy.
When I first moved to Cincinnati and I was on faculty at university, one of my first patients was the girl who got her arm cut off.
Yeah.
Bit off by the polar bear.
Yeah, the polar bear.
Yeah. Lori
Be careful out there, Jake. But if you get big, call me. Playing around in the gorilla cage, playing around in a polar bear. Zoo animals are not for playing around.
They are wild animals. They will always be wild animals. You cannot tame them. And
just like terrorists and bad guys.
Yes, they'll turn on you in a second.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, my son told me to play this song, so here it goes on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Let's say at the same time, Garrett. Son, I love you, but as a musical director, you're fired.
Yeah, and that was horrible song.
Horrible song. That's the last time I listened to my son Parker for music selections.
Yeah. Jake and I talked about it before you played it, to be honest.
I apologize. Ladies and gentlemen of Bulldog Nation, I apologize. All right, Garrett's mom, anything going out there in traffic? Because I got a traffic report for you after you're finished.
Okay, I do have one. There was an accident that's been moved to the right shoulder on southbound I-75 at the Norwood Lateral. And stop-and-go traffic from Galbraith exit.
There's a cliche.
Down to exit 10 in Cincinnati.
What'd she say?
Stop and go.
Stop and go. I got to tell people about stop and go.
Stop and go. Hey, one of you hillbillies, email the Bulldog and see if tell them if you could hear my mom or not, because we're not sure about that mic yet. But I think it works.
Oh, you
It
mean
sounded good.
Did they not switch mics again?
No, we switched this one with
Okay.
a new mic.
Okay.
No, you're fine. It worked.
All right.
I could hear her.
Okay.
But just
Well, speaking of accidents, I got to just share with you something. And you know, my life is so funny because it's Shakespeare comedy and drama every day now. Everybody knows that I do a lot of personal injury work. Well, yesterday mid-afternoon, Loretta comes running back to my office and says, "There's a car wreck right in front of our office." And I said, "Was anybody hurt?" I mean, and I said that, you know, out of concern.
Oh, you did.
Yes, I did. Well, she said, no, it was a rear-end collision, but the ambulance coming. So here's what we did, because it happened right in front of her office. All right. Maria made coffee, and she took it out to those that, you know, like coffee. And Loretta, we kind of got a system, you know, when this happens, we plan for it. Loretta made the lemonade. Loretta made the lemonade for those who like a cooler drink. Chuck, he's trained to guide the EMT to where the people who needed the first aid. Sarah Jones, she does a cheer on the sidewalk to lift their spirits. Chad, he runs the extension cord with the boombox so everybody can listen to soothing music while they're working. Mona, she's from Ludlow, she's tough. She gets out and directs traffic. Kelly helps the police to get the contact information from those injured for the police for us. Jack checks all their insurance policies to see what their limits are in case that they're needed. Alex helps apply the bandages. Nurse Kim checks all their pulses. Chris and Ed help load the injured. Sabrina, our photographer, takes photographs of everybody. And then I give out free coupons to Snappy and BP. And then we wait to see if they call. But it's kind of a cool plan. You know, and yesterday was the first time we got to execute the plan. Oh, we also reported to William so it can lead the newsletter.
You forgot the plastic surgeon.
Oh, and then and then we give him Dr. Kurtzman's card and say, "Hey, you got any cuts or bruises? This is the guy to go to." That really did happen, though.
Who takes out the business card for the law office?
Right,
that was not the first. Is anybody hurt? Does anybody need a lawyer? First question.
You know, my clients were the best.
Hey, do you guys need lawyers?
Hey, I got to refer this.
Come on, he shows his senses though.
Hey, I gotta get a free consult from you. Well, actually, I don't need one. True story. The doctor, I'll tell you off the air who the surgeon is, and I'll bet you go, uh-huh. Anyway, my client goes to a plastic surgeon in town for what's called a quick facelift. Apparently there's a difference. Of course, you're going to know this. Quick facelift or full facelift, okay? Well, apparently there was a screw up, and she wakes up to like a full-blown facelift with a nurse who says, "Just want to let you know the doctor decided to go ahead and do a full facelift. He's not going to charge you for this or nothing." And she's like, "What?" Anyway, she went to see another plastic surgeon in town. And that plastic surgeon actually wanted to testify against that plastic surgeon to say, this is terrible. Now just picture, this is on Sunday morning. My buddy's there with me. And she's in the conference room right up upstairs. And I like having fun with the clients, and I know they're joking. You can tell she was cool. And I said, "Well, I got a question for you. I'm going to rehearse my opening statement. I'll take the case as long as you let me do this on my opening, because I think if you let me do this, I can win your case." And I stand up and I put my arm on her back and I face my buddy, you know, and I said, "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this woman was a beautiful, beautiful woman, and all she needed was a little touch-up. Instead, he did a full facelift without her permission. Now look how ugly she is!" I said, "You mind if I say that?" She laughs. She goes, "No, you can say what I said, "Well, your husband take the stand and talk about how ugly you are now." She said, "Yeah."
That's all you need is a
oh my God, she is all. By the way, she's somebody. Her and her significant other came to the Halloween party. He was a big tall guy with a cowboy hat. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah,
real tall guy with a cowboy hat. But anyway, I got the best clients. I guarantee you, no lawyer gets to do that with their client. "Oh, sir, let me talk about this guy." She was funny. But by the way, though, man, what she looked like, I said, is there a difference between a quick and a full?
Yes.
I figured there would be.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
One is a marketing gimmick, the other one is a real procedure.
Is the quick a marketing gimmick?
There's all these things on television, and people are always asking, so the marketing must be working well because people are seeing it.
So Kurtzman plastic surgery doesn't do any.
We don't do gimmicks. We like things that work. A lot of those things you see on TV.
I don't do any gimmicks either.
If it sounds too good
Gimmicks
to be
are
true.
stupid. You know, somebody wants to hire a lawyer, they just want to hire a good lawyer, like a good plastic surgeon.
Absolutely. You want something that's going to work, something that's reproducible, something that's safe, something that's effective. A lot of that stuff on TV is just marketing gimmicks, smart this and smart that and quick this and quick that. And it's just to get people in the door. It's almost like, you know, I hate to say it, the ambulance chasing that you sometimes see from other professions.
Yeah.
But really, you want something.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
I want you to know that I've only driven after an ambulance one time. And this is yesterday on Facebook.
I didn't mention any professions.
Yesterday on Facebook, one of my friends were talking about like gun control or something. I said something about it's a bunch of crock. They said, "What do you know, Deters? We'll file Rule 11 against you." I'm like, "What the heck? I thought we were talking about guns." Jeez, well, some people are all tight.
But I like to say, buy your clothes on sale, not your plastic surgery.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Have you had any work done, Garrett?
Need some work done, Doc.
Lipo. Oh wait, yeah.
Oh, lipo. Yeah, one
Can you? How much does it take? How much would it cost? How much would it cost to remove? We want to do a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
How much would it cost?
He pays the one.
How much would
I get the free?
Yeah. How much would it cost to eliminate our back hair? We don't want our back hair anymore.
Well, it'll take 3 to 5 treatments. We have the laser. We just
3 to 5? You can't do it in one. Like I can lay there all night.
No.
Okay.
It's over a 6-week period. The
Okay.
reason is some hair is in the growing stage, some is in the plateau stage, and some is the loss stage. So to kill the hair follicles...
What stage is your hair in here?
Well, it's all variable.
9.
But to kill the hair...
Scale 1 to 9.
Mine's getting a little gray. I'm a little worried.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Gray hair doesn't work. It has to be the dark hair.
Oh, I got that.
Yeah, okay.
All right, let's strike up a little deal. How much would it cost me for all my treatments?
I got to take a look, but I don't want to scare your mother here.
Listen.
Oh, I've seen it.
Schedule us in.
Yeah, it's right here, Doc.
I've shaved it.
Right there. It's worse up top,
No, that's
though.
not too bad.
My wife
Worse
finally.
up top. Right up there.
My wife finally clipped mine last week, so I'm a little better. But schedule us in, all right? I'll pay for it. But of course, I'm sure you'll give me some kind of break.
Oh, absolutely. We'll take care of you.
Is it illegal to give a lawyer a break?
It's a great laser. The hair removal works really well. The reason you have to kill the hair follicle, and the way it works is the laser light goes down the shaft of the hair to the follicle, which kills it.
You always like them going down the shaft.
You like it down the shaft,
Yeah,
Ladies, when we come back, speaking all this law and doctor stuff, you guys are going to crack up laughing. I mean, crack up laughing at what happened to me in a deposition yesterday. Now, I picked this out because I heard it on radio. This is Pit Bull. Don't Stop the Party on ClassX Radio. How about first of all, those people that didn't like that music, we have a special service announcement from Leroy, our program director. Will Bulldog Nation value our listeners' decision? We'll readjust our musical programming to better serve our customers. We apologize for any inconvenience of listening to that rap kind of music. Now we take us to traffic. What do we got there, Mom?
We have absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Things are
At 8?
quiet.
Wow, you're good luck.
I got the slowest morning ever, didn't I?
Good for you.
Well, that's bad for the Bulldog's business.
That is true.
It's true.
That is true.
We need an ice storm or something.
I'm going to tell you something. Yesterday I was this is a funny story. I don't only tell these stories if I know the nation's going to laugh. I'm taking a deposition of a doctor. Now I'm not going to mention any names or anybody. But I'm taking yesterday I'm allowed to do this. The deposition of a doctor by video to be played to the jury. And he's the treating doctor of my client. Okay? And I do my direct examination. And the lawyer does the cross-examination, and he was one of those super lawyers in the state of Ohio. So when he got done, I wrote a note to my nurse. I wrote a note that says, "Now watch the super-duper lawyer in action." And you know what? when I came into the office there, I heard the doctor address opposing counsel by first name. So I said, Doc, no, actually, I got to ask you a question. I said, I noticed da-da-da-da-da. Do you know him? Yes. How do you know him? He's my lawyer. I said, really? And then it gets even better. He had his paper sitting on the chair next to him. I said, can you move that paper? He looked at me. And I got up. I went and sat down right next to him with a little chart that I drew to show the video camera was in. It was hilarious. And then when I really got under his skin, he was like this. And I said, well, what's the reputation in the community of such and such doctor? And he doesn't know it, but that doctor, a local doctor, has said this surgery wasn't necessary. So I said, well, what's your opinion of the reputation? And he said, oh, he's a great doctor. So I asked him the same question about the defendant doctor. He goes, I'm not going to answer that. Oh, it was hilarious.
What kind of case are you working on?
It's a malpractice case.
Well, I guess that.
It's a case involving a spine surgery that shouldn't have been done. I don't mind saying this because I've said this on the radio. It's against Dr. Durrani. I only have, I think, 12 cases against him. And by the way, I've yet to find locally all the orthopedics that have treated the patients after him have every one of them has supportive of the, and that's rare. The orthopedic docs in this community apparently have a real problem with them.
I personally don't know him or don't know his name, so I can't say. But
yeah.
You know, spine surgery is very touchy. There's a lot of articles out there talking about the necessity of it, and if you get better with it or without it. There's a lot of differing opinion on that. One of the things that we found out, and this is kind of spooky, is there is a experimental. It's made by a company who I'll remain nameless. It's called BMP2, and there's been some. This doctor particularly has used some of that, but it's been misinformed. In other words, you don't tell the parents of these kids, hey, we're going to try this, and then their records, they don't put it in there, so you don't know. And they've actually tried to sneak it by people. It's terrible. It's a big problem. I'll go ahead and even say this. We've had doctors say that Durrani appears that he might be doing some experimental surgeries, which is scary. I had a guy call me, found me on my website, and he said to me, he called me up and he said, I got a surgery scheduled for Dr. Durrani next. By the way, folks, just so you know, I'm not doing anything unethical, and it isn't slander, so I'm not the least bit worried. I've done radio 6 years, never been sued for slander or something I said on the radio, because I don't slander anybody on the radio. It's truthful or it's my opinion. Let me tell you something. This guy calls me up, and he has surgery scheduled next week. And I said, if I were you, I would not. It'd be scary. If you found out that a guy had 14 or 12 or whatever, well, I think it's probably about 14. It's a large number. Malpractice cases currently against him. Would you go to that doctor? I certainly would get a second opinion.
Yeah.
It's always good to get a second opinion on certain surgeries, and I think spine surgery is probably one of them. There's a lot of good spine surgeons in town.
I want to go ahead and just say this to everybody, too, out there, because I got a lot of fans who are in the medical field. We are very blessed in the tri-state to have an outstanding medical community. For the most part, we got great hospitals. It doesn't mean mistakes don't happen. But we have good hospitals. Thank God for Children's Hospital. Thank God for Christ Hospital, their cardiology. Thank God for University and the Trauma Hospital. Shriners and their burn. Thank God for good docs like you and so many. I mean, I need doctors. I mean, we have a very, in my opinion, overall, we got a really, really, really good medical community. It's just every once in a while there's a screw up.
I agree with that. I think, but there's screw ups everywhere. People try to do their best. But we do have a great medical community. All the places you just mentioned are world class. People do not have to travel to Cleveland or California or New York to get medical care. A lot of times I see patients, they'll travel to California because because they see them on TV. It's California. they'll travel to Mexico because it's cheaper. And, you know, I end up taking care of these people afterwards, trying to, you know, help them, fix them up. You know, and I'm always willing to help them, even though, you know, I wish they came to me first, but...
Our holiday trip scared the hell out of me. We went to West Virginia to snowshoe, and in the lodge, you know, we're looking at things, nearest hospital, this blew me away, especially all these skiers, nearest hospital, hour and a half away. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, my God, I hope we don't have a medical emergency. And I think even though I live in southern Crittenden County, I'm 20 minutes, 15 if I'm flying. I'm 15 minutes from St. E's. You know, thank God, you know, we have the air care from University Hospital. I'm telling you right now, I will never, ever, 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 unless for some reason I have to, live far away from a hospital. I think it's just stupid. I mean, you have a heart attack and you live in Harlan County, what the hell, where do you go? I mean...
Yeah, you're right. Thank God for ambulances and helicopters, and you probably ought to get the concession stand for the helicopter over at Snowshoe.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, it's amazing. Even Perfect North, where I ski with my boys, I talked to them once about how many injuries, how many ambulance trips they have. It's unbelievable. I mean, it was like 15 ambulance trips a day.
Orthopedics love the old ski.
Oh, just set up your clinic at the bottom of the slopes.
I've never snow skied, and that's the reason why. We come back, we got more Radio Suburban. Let me tell you something. We're putting it back on track, folks. My son, the musical director, has been fired. This is Radar Love on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Looks like we got a lot of green stuff on the laptop there. Garrett's mom.
Yes, we do. We have an accident on Madison Road, just west of Stewart Avenue. Another accident on Western Northern Boulevard at Fife Avenue. And the last accident is on Paddock Road at Oberlin Boulevard.
That was quick. 10 minutes ago, there was nothing going on.
Thank you very much there, man.
You just
or
helped
lady,
the
excuse me,
Bulldog's
man.
business.
What do you think about the absolute ridiculous administration of Barack Obama Take Two, Dr. Kurtzman?
Well,
I want, you know, Obamacare. Let's talk about Obamacare. Everything that I'm seeing about Obamacare as it slowly kicks in is big companies are laying off people. Everybody's insurance rates are going up. What's going on with health care providers?
Well, it's the same thing. It's, you know, it wasn't thought out very well. I mean, some of the thoughts are good, but the implementation is going to be very poor. You're going to be putting 40 million people into people's offices. The problem is, a lot of these people, you bring them in your office, you lose money. And it's just, you know, sometimes it's a financial decision too. Yes, we love taking care of people. Yes, we want everybody to be healthy. But it also got to be fiscally responsible. If you're inundating some doctors, and only about a third of the doctors will take the Medicaid, if you put these 40 million people into their offices, they're going to be inundated. People are not going to get the care they need. They're not going to be taking care of them because they don't have the physical time to do it. It just wasn't thought out. The reimbursements are going down. Taxes are going up. Companies, exactly, they're making people part-time now. If you're over 50 employees, they're going to drop to under 50 employees. Medical care is going up. Everybody's tax bill went up, even though there's, you know, no new taxes for the middle class. It's a disaster. The fiscal cliff is coming. He's not doing anything about it. He wants to raise the debt ceiling, the gun control thing. I mean, other than that, everything's great.
Right. Everything that, we're all good. We used to call on the farm. Other than that, everything's cherry.
You know, it's sometimes, you know, in the second term of a president, he's obviously a lame duck, meaning he can't run again. So hopefully he'll make the right decisions, even though they're hard decisions, and a lot of people won't make them popular decisions, but they have to be made. We cannot go on like this. We cannot mortgage our future. It's not going to affect me. It's not going to affect you, but it will affect our children.
Right, right. And it's going to. And you know, it's the other thing, where he has these kids, you know, like the kids that he's going to choreograph at the press conference, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, are you going to talk to the kids about how they're not going to have a country because you're bankrupting it? Are you going to have a little fiscal talk with them? And the other thing, Doc, you know, if you ask teenagers or grade schoolers or middle schoolers what you should do, let's face it, they're going to be for anything with green. They're going to be anti-gun. They're going to be, I mean, they get brainwashed. Oh, so we decide what to do based upon little kids? No, we decide what common sense adults should do. right?
Right, the adults make the decisions. Your kids at home, they should not be making the decisions. You should be making most of them for them. You need to teach them. We have experience, we have knowledge, and we have to impart that in our children. But when something's free, everybody's going to have their hand out and take it, and it's just terrible. I mean, you know, the quote-unquote 47%, you know, all of them, obviously, a lot of people do want to work, but the jobs aren't there. College graduates come out, 50% of them can get jobs. Yeah, but still they're voting for this guy. I mean, this guy is more of a rock star than he is a president and a leader.
Right.
It's got to change. And even the Israel thing, you know, trying to tell them that, well, they don't know what's best for them. It's really?
Right.
I mean, how do you go about doing that and saying that? It's just, to me, it's a lot of ignorance there. And I don't see it getting better. And I see things getting worse. And I think things probably have to get worse before they get better. And unfortunately, that's the way the administration is treating things.
Right. Well, I can tell you this, the lack of common sense just blows me away. I mean, like they didn't even submit a budget. They've already told Congress. The president says, we're not going to let them hold us hostage. We're not going to let them hold us hostage. And then guess what? He doesn't even submit a budget at all. He says, oh, by the way, we're not going to submit a budget. And I tell you, the problem is, Doc, and I've said this already before on station, the problem is the media lets him off the hook. And 51% of the people are going to vote for him no matter what. I actually believe this. President Obama could get caught at Camp David with 3 prostitutes, 2 horses and a cow and a goat in bed, and nothing would change.
Well, I don't know about the goat, but...
I mean, I'm not kidding you. I mean, Barack Obama can do, say anything, and he gets a pass. He gets a pass by 51% of the people and the media.
I agree 100%. The question comes to my mind is, if George Bush was president currently, and he was doing all the things that Barack Obama is doing, would they be elevated to the status, or would they be asking for an impeachment?
Well, here's a great one. The woman issue. You know, in the Confidence Men, it was pointed out by Anita Dunn that it was like a sexual harassment environment, women discrimination environment in the White House. It was like working in a frat house. He doesn't appoint any women to these 3 big appointments, Chief of Staff, Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense. And, you know, even the underlying positions very poorly represented the ladies. But guess what? All those friggin' women voted for him. He is the biggest hypocrite, the biggest phony. Hey, ladies, what's wrong with your guy? He doesn't seem to like appointing the gals to the offices. And the ones he does appoint, well, questionable. Janet Napolitano, you know, she's a guy or a girl, Fred Flintstone or Mike McConnell. I don't know what she is, but I'm just saying, who was that? Somebody interrupted our mic. Who was that came through our microphone dogging Janet Napolitano? Jeez. Garrett, what do you think about it? Garrett, why don't you weigh in as a 24-year-old American?
Napolitano's a huge B. By the way, we need a song.
We need a song? We don't have George Harrison?
Spry doesn't have George Harrison.
Oh, Spry, what am I going to... You know, we need some AC/DC.
Yes, we do.
How about the... Can we do that, like, shot in the back, though, just one time before we play? Do we have Give the Dog a Bone?
No.
My good... Shoot the... let's be politically incorrect. Shoot the Thrill. Let's play AC/DC, Shoot the Thrill, for all the gun owners out there. Back! There we go. Well, that's what we need to do. We're going to dedicate this to all the NRA members, the concealed and carry folks, gun lovers everywhere, the doctors who pack, the lawyers who pack, the good guys who pack. This is Shoot the Thrill on ClassX Radio. No more rap.
This is a funny.
This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jerry Patty Euclid is having a heart attack, wanting to talk about something funny. What's so funny over there? Dr. Kirchman.
Please divulge. Secrets don't make friends.
Well, it's today's paper in the obituaries. We have...
well, that's real
What's
funny.
So funny? Obituary, isn't that funny?
All right, Barbara B.
You
Lewin
sick person.
was shot to death by a jealous wife, period. Not really, but this is how she wanted the recounting of her life to start. It's your 80th birthday by 10
That's
days.
funny.
She died Monday, January 14th, 2013, which may come as a shock as she enjoyed being vague about her age. She was married 57 years, and then later, you know, it's a long thing, and then it goes on to talk about her life, and that she was a loving and devilish wife to Robert Lewin for 57 years, and who her kids were, and then she had cancer at bay for 15 years through determination, guts, and good doctors, and a wicked sense of humor. Even in death, she has a great sense of humor. I really like that. And it shows a lot of spunk, and I like spunk in people.
I do too. I like spunk too, and I like sense of humor.
Yes.
There's so many anal retentive people.
People take life too seriously. You got to enjoy every day. We don't have a lot of time up here. You know, even in work, it's a very serious thing. You know, and surgery is a very serious thing. But it's always a little lighthearted, a little fun. Take the edge off. People, you know, come in very nervous. I try to put them at ease, just like you do in your law practice.
I bet, yeah, like put them at ease. The first thing you do, breast exam, loosen them up a little bit.
Is that why you went into plastic surgery?
It is not. It's because my mother, my mother insisted because she wanted a facelift for free.
Not the breast exam part. I'm talking about like I couldn't deal doing like trauma surgery or something like that.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like ER, like you would see all sorts of stuff, like death every day.
Well, hopefully not.
Depressing as hell.
No, it's actually, what I do is fun. I mean, plastic surgery is really the only constructive part of medicine. Everything is destructive. You're cutting out a tumor, or you're trying to get rid of your diabetes, or get rid of your high blood pressure. But plastic surgery can be creative. We do a lot with reconstruction after trauma, after tumors, after breast cancer, but we also do a lot of things where the cosmetic surgery side, where you take somebody who's normal looking and you try and making them look better or younger. So
you know, sense of humor is so important. I put my clients to ease with that, and most people are looking for, you know, that my interviews with employees is always lighthearted. My conversations with everybody's like that. I mean, it's just awesome. So I agree with you. Humor helps. Laughing puts years on you. Are you going to come to my comedy show February 2nd? It's a Saturday night. Thank you.
I came to your last one.
Yes, you did. I need as many friends as I can. I'm excited about Saturday night, and I got some great material. I've been saving up some stuff as I'm going through life in the next 2 weeks. Some observations.
Heckle the hell out of you.
You heckle me, Tommy Boy. I'm going to have a Tommy Boy cut every time you heckle me. Tommy Boy cut! It'll be one of your bad ones, too.
Well, the good people on stage really know how to handle the hecklers and really
they
put them in their place.
It's almost kind of like you wish there was a heckler.
Right. You want somebody to say something to feed off.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, you just have to be prepared for them. And actually, I was at Eric's last comedy show about, I don't know, maybe 6-8 months ago. Did a great job over in Kentucky at, I forget, Tickets or something. Yeah, that's it.
I know you did that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
You thought he was just
I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
I've done 2 good shows and 1 bad show. I'm going to be at my premiere at the Funny Bone was great. My second show, and it was Chuck's fault. Chuck said, why don't you try a clean act?
Oh, Chuck.
That didn't work very good. So then I went back to just doing my regular act, and it was much better.
Yeah, nobody wants a clean act unless you're under 13.
I mean, I'm just telling you, it's just harder. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of comics that are able to do it, but come on, I'm not
harder to do.
Oh, it's much harder to do it. I mean, you can just, you know, little things on the edge. And I'm not gross. I'm not like Andrew Dice Clay.
The Dice Man.
I saw his skit. I mean, it is so tired. It's so old. And he just did the same limericks again. And I was like, come on, Dice.
Yeah.
He has his son playing the drums for him on the stage. That was kind of different.
Yeah,
play the drum.
A little bit off color is good, but when they get too off color and everything is the F-bomb, it's just, it's not funny after a while. It's just silly.
Right. It is silly. It's kind of crazy. How about you? Patty doesn't want to talk on the microphone. Let's go back to Garrett's mom. Garrett's mom, have you enjoyed your premiere on ClassX Radio as our traffic gal?
Oh, absolutely.
Radio debut. Good. You're hired every
You know,
morning.
my wife wanted me to have only guys do traffic, and I tried to explain to her it doesn't work. And when she was giving me a little grief last night, it was great for me to say, Garrett's mom's doing it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You saved me. Thank God. Thank God it wasn't like, well, some Bengal cheerleader's going to do it or some Victoria's Secret model. I was able to say, Garrett's mom. Now, you look like a Victoria's Secret model, but she won't think that because you're Garrett's mom.
Right.
You
throw
see,
mom in there.
You
That's
throw
what
mom in there. It was saved me. You saved me. Give her Oracle status.
Yeah, mom.
You get Oracle status.
Congratulations. We get the button there. Yeah.
She'll let you do everybody over 55, right?
She's more, put it this way, she feels less insecure.
Hey, you're old as hell, Mom. That's.
I got you.
Wait a minute, she's younger than I am. We actually used to work together at the Shriners Burn Institute.
Let's give Dr. Kurtzman Oracle status too. Hey, we know how to break. No, Patty, you don't get. Hey.
You know what, Patty?
Hey, we're not going to tell anybody the details, but if you ever want like a crack a code or something, Dr. Kurtzman's got some talents besides plastic surgery. That's all I'm saying. Every dog has their day. I hope today. Hey, if you own a gun, don't give it up. Don't sell it. Don't let them take it. Let's stick together. Every dog has their day. I hope today is yours. I love you, Bulldog Nation. We'll be back tomorrow for some Radio Superbity on Class X Radio. No more rap.